Hello, Hamilton. It's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and start tackling your own to-do list. I am Bob Assadorian, host of the Just Ask Bob show. To start off the show today, construction company owner gets jail and fined $50,000. This is a Hamilton contractor. Now, the proof's in the pudding. This was in the Hamilton Spectator some time ago. The reason I bring it up today, and the reason I'm going to bring it up on the next few shows, is for the simple reason that it's not just me ranting and raving about the crooked and overcharging contractor. This guy here, quite a con artist, took advantage of a homeowner, took a massive deposit, barely touched the work, asked for more money, took off. So again, as you've seen on this season, Season 2 and Season 1, I cannot stress this enough. Get references. Check with the City of Hamilton Building Department, 546-2424. Ask for building and licensing. You want to make absolutely sure that A, your contractor's licensed, and that B, whatever the job he's proposing to do or you've requested him to do, if it requires a permit, you make sure he pulls the permit. So again, very, very important to be careful. Now, we've got a very special show for you today, which is actually going to feature 2 on-site locations. So a very special thanks to the homeowners for allowing us on site, and a thanks to Triple R Inc. for allowing us to bring the cameras on their job sites. This starts and it originates from John from Hamilton, Ontario. Dear Bob, I'm getting a lot of mixed information on what exactly is involved with doing structural work on my home. Is a city permit always necessary? Bob, what is a BCIN number, and what involvement would an engineer play in having the structural work done in my home? Well, John, thank you very much for the question. It is somewhat complicated. Long time ago, contractors with the license that I have, the Master Building Repair, they were allowed to somewhat design a structural repair renovation, apply for permit, done, everything's fine. That changed. Originally, you needed an engineer. Now they have what's called the BCIN designation. So this is one up when it comes to my license, the Master Building Repair that I always rant and rave about. With the BCIN license, the firm, the designing or engineering firm, can design the layout for structural repair. Hence, the contractor or homeowner would apply for permit, and then based on that design with the BCIN number designation, the permit would either be approved or not. Now, in my case, I always use a structural engineer. I find that's very important. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a moment to talk about loose floorboards and damaged structure. And of course, welcome back to the show, Ryan Bello. Hey, buddy. Good to have you on.
Thanks for having me back.
Ryan Bello, our lead foreman. He's going to assist us with this today. One of the first things we're going to take a moment to talk about is what not to use, and this is also one of Bob's bewares. This particular piece of lumber, available at all the big box stores. If I can hold it on an angle here, this is finger jointed. If you can really get right in there tight, you can see the joints. So this is finger jointed about every foot. Honestly, not much better than using it for firewood. You don't want to be standing on that. You don't want to use this for any kind of structural application. Honestly, I do admit, at times we use this for capping purposes. So doors and windows, we'll frame out the perimeter, and then we'll put aluminum over this. So it's just up against the wall. It's not to be stood on in either direction. Okay, now, use your imagination for the folks at home. This could be your living room floor, your kitchen floor, your bathroom, your main floor, your second floor. This is obviously creaking. This is obviously loose. It's not well built. Doesn't feel very sturdy on this end at all. Now, how many homeowners have this? New home construction, they're using OSB, Oriented Strand Board. Now, Ryan, let's open it up. Let's expose it for the cameras.
Good.
Let's see what this is made out of. Okay, let's set it behind these guys. Oh, wow. Not very structural. Now, obviously, this is just a prop. What I'm trying to explain is these are 2x10s. So these are your floor joists. This is what you walk on. They're set up every 16 inches on center. Now, I certainly hope your home doesn't have 1x3s for floor joists, but obviously you can see. This can take the weight whether it's myself, whether it's a piano, or if it's a piano, it should be more than 2x10s. Obviously, the 2x3 can't take the weight. Now, what we want to take a minute to show you is, and again, believe me when I say this isn't just because this is a prop. I've been a licensed contractor for 10 years. Hundreds and hundreds of Hamilton homes have had compromised structure. Now, a lot of times, and I hate blaming plumbers, but plumbers are notorious for this. Plumbers will compromise structure to run plumbing. This is wrong. Plumbing should always be run under the joist. So if you'll notice, in a lot of homes, bulkheads. So you've got the nice ceiling, you've got a bulkhead in the corner. That's because the plumbing will come out of the end, jog, go down to your basement sewer stack. So Byron, let's pull this out.
Yep.
Now the plumbers have left nothing but a sliver here. So this isn't good. This is always going to flex under load. If you've got any type of a solid surface flooring, such as ceramic tile, at the very least, the grout joints are going to be cracking continuously. If it's hardwood, you'll hear creaking all the time. Now, I want to be really clear to Hamilton homeowners what needs a permit and what doesn't. So now, anywhere on your main floor or second floor, this is your home, structure's been compromised, could have been termites, could have been fire damage, could have been a plumber cutting through it. If you're going to remove the joist, there's two ways to repair this to make it structurally sound. One is take the joist out, replace it. That requires a permit because you've now removed structure. If you don't want to pull a permit, or if it's not necessary, depending exactly what's involved, you can repair this by sistering it. So essentially, you're going to splice the same size dimensional lumber on the both sides, and I've said it many times on the show. Screw it and glue it. That's how you're going to get strength. Doing that off both sides, you've now made it structurally stable, and it'll be able to sustain the load of whether it's people walking, furniture, cabinetry, bedroom, doesn't matter. First thing we're going to use, and you've seen this many times on the show before, and I swear by it, PL Construction adhesive, and in this particular case, this is Bob's top pick today, because this is the right way to do it. Ryan, want to put a nice S-bead end-to-end?
Yep.
You don't want to skimp on this stuff. I've always said it, it's about the penetration. This will swell. This is an amazing product because don't think of it as a glue. This actually has compressive strength similar to concrete. I mean, if it wasn't for the sake it would cost you a fortune, you could lay bricks with this to lay the brick wall of a home. Obviously, it doesn't work out because per tube, this costs 25 times more than a bag of mortar mix, mason mix, that you'd have mortar joints for your brick. Okay, Ryan, hold off now. Now, really important that you get it across the bottom.
Yep.
This is the damaged area, so we want to have a perfect bead around here. Oh, let me see it.
There you go.
Take a moment also to say thank you to our proud sponsor going into Season 3, the Home Depot on Stone Church Road. Okay, Ryan, let's sister away. We're going to use 3-inch screws because we have 1.5 inch lumber, 1.5 inch lumber. It's all about the penetration. If you don't have that, you have nothing. Don't be putting anything less than a 3-inch screw in. If you notice the installation pattern, we're zigzagging it. We're going up, down, 8-inch stagger. Very important. Once you've sistered the right and the left, again, you've got complete structure. Now again, depending on your situation, whether this holds up or not, this can be done legally in a home without a permit. That's the gray area, because we haven't taken out, removed, or even done anything to the damaged original joist. Now one more trick, Ryan.
Yep.
If you look at the screws now, we're penetrating 3 inches from this side over. Screw from the back side in as well.
Sure.
You want to do one row of screws this way and another row from the back. So essentially, you see that? You've locked it both ways, both sides. Another interesting point now, your subflooring. Once you get your plywood back, or whatever your flooring is going to be, you're going to screw it in from the top. We're going to be stopping for a quick break. After break, we're going on location for a very special visit to a Triple R job site. And believe me, this home has a lot of serious structural issues. We've pulled the permit. Job site's ready. We'll be there right after break. Hello Hamilton, welcome to our job site. Big thanks to Triple R Inc. for allowing us to bring the cameras here, and a big thanks to the homeowners. And a big high five to our foreman. In another show.
Yep.
Okay, what do we have here today? Structure, structure, structure. Let's start with the permit. City of Hamilton, building permit, applicant, description of work to repair foundation, a garage attached to the existing single-family dwelling. Now, the city at times can get things wrong. This isn't quite a garage, as you can see. It's a carport. Not much of a difference, not a big deal. Now, we've talked about this during Season 2 and Season 1, how important it is for homeowners to make certain that their contractor gets the permit. Now, on this particular job, we've got a structural issue. We've got a column to the right, which is a vertical column. The column is sinking on the footing. Now, the homeowners, they've had some weeping tile work done, so they do have pictures of what the ground looks. So actually, if you can see in here, we've got about a 1-inch drop. Now, if you follow your eye all the way to the other side, on the other side it's tight at the very far end. So essentially you can see we're dropping on this side. Now what we figured out is quite a lot before even having to excavate. The homeowners about 3-4 years ago, they had this section of asphalt excavated. You can see the old asphalt versus the new asphalt versus the new. Now we have photographs. When this was excavated, the concrete footing under here only goes down about 2 feet. That's not good. It should go down at least 4 feet. So it's sort of a twofold problem. One is that it doesn't go down far enough. Secondly, when the excavation was done in order to address the weeping tile issue, the earth was loosened, and the loosening of the earth allowed the column to drop a little bit. So what we've done is we've got an engineer on board. He's drawn us a repair plan, because again, this is what's really important now. The City of Hamilton has special requirements when there's structural work. Either an engineer has to draw a diagram, draw a specification and stamp it, or you have to involve a contractor with a BCIN designation. BCIN number designated contractors are sort of like the equivalency of a nurse to the doctor being the engineer. Those are the only 2 ways that the city will allow permit for this type of job. One exception though, and it's a real gray area. A homeowner is allowed to draft their own design drawing and apply to city for permit. Now, strange as that may sound, the homeowners can draft their own design, but a contractor such as myself with the master building repair license cannot draft it. So a lot of times what will happen is the contractor will pressure the homeowner and say, you draw it out, we'll go submit it for permit, saying you drew it. That's not right. So in either case, as the homeowner, you do your work, let the contractor do his. Let the contractor go through the problem of designing the repair procedure, either himself, well, not himself, he wouldn't be allowed, have him either use a BCIN designing firm or use an engineer, tape the permit to the wall, and then the job's allowed to start. So again, the very first thing we have to do now, before we excavate, is we have to take the weight and the load off of this column. The way to do that is, we've got this vertical column set up here. We're going to set up another one here, and then we're going to set up 2 more. So we're going to have 4 of them all together. These 4 are going to be cranked up so that all this weight, because we've got quite a span here, about 22 feet, this weight is going to be on these posts. Then what's going to happen is when we excavate this, there won't be any weight on it. So we can easily pull out the concrete, pour a new footing, pour a new pier. So we're going to start on this one. So we've got it in location.
Yep.
Let's check if it's plumb. So we'll kick out the bottom because the top's nice.
The bottom, yeah.
Okay, you got it there?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Let me just get that on there. Level never lies. We'll leave the level there.
I'll let you do the honors.
Oh, thank you. You got the muscle. I can do the honors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
You
that's
can
enough
actually
for
see
now.
it raised. Now
You
that,
can see it raise.
yeah.
Now this
that one could use a little tightening.
Now this one actually, I've got an idea with this one. You follow me on this. If we put this one right here, we're going to have a tremendous amount of weight here. That's called point load weight. Once we excavate this, all this weight's on the corner. It could kick out the soil and collapse. So I don't think we should have anything right here, because we need to excavate at least, my boots are 12 inches right on, we have to excavate at least 2 feet so we can get our bodies in the pit in order to form and pour the concrete. So again, this should have never been here. It could kick in the dirt and erode in. Let's stick it over there. Drop it down. Hot enough for you today, Ryan?
Oh yeah, it's a warm one today. Better than cold though.
Oh, that's right. There's one thing contractors don't like is the cold. Okay. Yeah, let's check it out now. Okay. So we can, no, we shouldn't move the top, we should kick out the bottom. Oops. Safety first. Check that, Ryan?
Yeah. A little more.
A little more?
Yeah.
It could be our whole board. Check that.
More. 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 Okay.
Good?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, great. Okay, now as I tighten this one, that one might want to give.
Yeah.
Keep a hand on it. Okay, how firm is that one?
Good, solid.
Nice, nice. These are solid. Okay. Now we got to keep an eye on our plate. Okay. Okay, we'll jog the plate over a little bit. So we're going to set up one more and then one more. So these are going to pick up the load from that column. This one, it's never been bothered, it's fine. Hopefully you can follow us on another date and time when we open up the pit, they open up the earth and start forming and pouring. Hello Hamilton, welcome back to the Just Ask Bob show. Before the break, we were here, we were setting up everything through the magic of television. We're here 1 month later. You can see the safety measures here are very important. We've excavated, so we've got safety cones front and back. We've got plywood across here. Nobody's been able to walk across this for a month. Let's open it up, Ryan.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, very careful.
Yep.
Take it to the back. Okay, now the last time you were here, the whole issue was this steel plate and this metal column was dropping. Some time ago, this was excavated and the weeping tile was done. At that time, the soil was disturbed, but as we found out after excavating, the whole problem was the concrete pier was only 2.5 feet. That's no good. You have to be at least 4 feet or more. Let me jump in and show you what we've been doing. Okay, Everything starts with the footing. We excavated to about 6 feet plus. We got just below the footing that actually holds up, supports the foundation. Now, to explain footings, really important to understand, if you take a pen or pencil and you push it on a piece of paper, it'll poke through. So that pen or pencil would be your foundation. If you take a rubber eraser and you put it on the paper first and then you push down, you're not going to poke through the paper. So this footing is what's supporting the pier. So we excavated, we formed, we poured the concrete for the footing. That had to cure 7 days minimum because you don't want any weight on it until that point. The 7 days passed, we took off the form, then we formed for a pier. The steel column remained. Our engineer passed the quality of the existing steel column, so that can stay. At the very top, it's welded to the steel beam. So the weld is intact, the weld is beautiful. So we basically let this guy free hang. So this was just hanging in the air. We formed, we poured, just prior to pouring up to here, we set up a jack post. So this jack post, we cranked and cranked on it, and so we raised the steel beam approximately 2 inches. Once we raised it up, we continued our concrete pour to the plate, and then we sunk the bolts in, casting them directly into the concrete. Now, until this can solidify, until 7 days can pass, which won't be until next week, we don't want the weight of this beam bearing down on it, so that's why this temporary support will stay up. So essentially, it took stages. It's been over a month's worth of work. We showed you last time the permit. Very, very important. And I didn't do the design for this. My license doesn't allow me to. This was designed by a structural engineer, applied to the City of Hamilton for permit, passed. City's been here twice. The second time they came, they passed our work. All that's left now is peel off the wooden form, pull out the temporary support, and then you can see quite a job here in shoveling, getting all this dirt out. Ryan, you don't look very busy.
Yeah, just waiting for you.
What do you think? This is a city job.
Hey.
Speaking of city jobs, we're not city, we're not union. Lots been going on in the Hamilton Spectator lately. For you Hamilton homeowners, I mean, road crews, construction, everything's going on everywhere. How many times have you driven around a construction site to see one guy digging like an animal and then to see 5 city workers standing around the pit having a cigarette? This isn't construction, this isn't a paving job. Ryan, let's get at it. Thank you for watching. Tune in to the next show. And follow this show and follow all our shows. www.justaskbob.com, where you can pause, fast forward, rewind, take it at your own pace. Thank you, Hamilton.